We all love flying, right? So we can all agree that there's nothing worse than being at the flying field and have to come home due to a technical issue. Be that a loose or even lost exhaust, or perhaps an engine overheating in a brand new model. Let's fix these issues once and for all. No more wasted flying days. After all, you can guarantee that it'll happen on the nicest day of the year too. Let's start with the cooling issue, and we'll move on to the trick that will prevent you losing your exhaust later on. Cooling is a matter that's often overlooked, but is vitally important, and in the back of our minds we all know that. Not enough air in is just as bad as not enough air out, but there's more to it than that. We actually want to have the air input forced around the cylinders. After all, that's what we need to cool. Any air that's not over the cylinders is just a waste of space. Current 100 size Pilot RC kits come with glue-in baffles, which is a great solution as it's made to fit perfectly into the cowl and guarantees that all the air that's picked up by the inlet is forced over the cylinders and the cylinder fins. So providing we have a large enough exit hole, we're going to have close to perfect cooling. For other sizes of Pilot RC kits though, as well as those models from other manufacturers, rc3dprint.co.uk has you covered. They design and produce 3D printed baffles, ready to simply epoxy into your cowl, and with a load of designs already in their database, they'll have one to suit you. This is for the new cowl on my Laser. We installed it together in a recent video and it's always been missing the baffles. So what better opportunity than to install a set and check out how they look. Oh yeah, and being 3D printed, you can choose the colour. So there's a yellow set, or there's the black set that I think I'm actually going to install in the model itself. I'm going to use hot glue just to secure them in place temporarily and make sure that everything lines up correctly, focusing all available air correctly over the cylinder heads. Then I'll fix it permanently in place using a decent amount of epoxy mixed in with micro balloons to make it extend a bit further without adding much weight. And there we have it. That's what it looks like once complete. If you want to pick up a set for your next model, make sure to contact rc3dprint.co.uk. Now, onto the loose exhaust issue. If you're like me, you've tried using the provided gaskets. You've tried using a silicone gasket, both in conjunction and on its own. And you've even tried the red super strong Loctite thread lock, all to no avail. The following trick is so easy it seems crazy that it will actually work, but it does. It turns out that we focus all our cooling on the engine and its cylinders, but it's the exhaust which receives and picks up as much heat as any other part of the engine. This massive temperature change results in the exhaust dilating and contracting, meaning that even the tightest of bolts ends up not being tight at all, as a gap appears between the engine and the exhaust. And of course, a bolt that isn't tight will very easily vibrate loose entirely. The solution then? Easy. Cool the exhaust as well as cooling the cylinders. All we need is a small slit or two in front of the exhaust so that they too can receive some fresh, cool air, as opposed to the hot air that's already been round and over the cylinders. This will drop the temperatures of the exhausts just enough that the material itself won't change size enough to leave the bolts loose, and as they're still tight, they'll stay in place. I couldn't believe it was this simple. However, my good friend and GP Engines dealer in the UK, Clive McGuinness over at Aerobatex, assured me that it would work, and I must admit that he was right, and that I owe him a beer as I bet him that it wouldn't. So try it out for yourself I'm sure you'll be as pleasantly surprised as I was, no longer having any exhaust issues. And that's it for this video. I hope that you like these little tips and tricks, and I hope that they work for you as well as they did for me. If they do, or if you have any of your own cool tricks that really do work, let me know in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and I'll see you all in the next one.